Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you prefer the Champions League or the Europa League on an entertainment basis? Of course, quality-wise, the Champions League will be far superior than the Europa League. But if you want entertainment, Thursday night is your night. Tuesday, Wednesday night is like the glamorous night. It's the Hollywood, it's the Paris, it's the London, it's the Fashion Week in Paris. Thursday night is for the real footballers. We got 4 great games to talk about here for the Europa League quarterfinal prediction video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Which 4 teams will advance to the semi-final? And give your early prediction. Who will be the champion of the Europa League this season? Let's get into the matchups. And the first game we're going to talk about is Eintracht Frankfurt going up against Tottenham. This should be fascinating because Ange is under massive pressure. It's just one little cut of the rope and he's going to sink. And for Ange, it's harsh, but you've lost so many games this season. And I really like Ange. I think he's a quality manager. But this season, it's just gone terribly wrong for him. You can talk about the injuries. Now he's got the players back. And the performances are still lacking. Even against AZ Alkmaar, Tottenham were struggling. They were struggling big time to create glorious chances, especially away from home. That dire performance we saw in Netherlands from Tottenham was terrible. You cannot do that against Eintracht Frankfurt because Frankfurt, Hugo Ekitike, don't sleep on the player bio on down the left wing and Knopf down the right side. All 3 forwards are very exciting for Eintracht Frankfurt. Then you got obviously Mario Götze in the 10 role and the great Swedish battle in the midfield, IKEA versus H&M. Hugo Larsson against Lucas Bergvall. That should be a fantastic matchup. And Hugo Larsson, that's a player that doesn't get talked a lot about in Europe. Quality player for Eintracht Frankfurt. And this is now basically it for Frankfurt. They should be getting top 4 in the Bundesliga. They won the Europa League a couple of years ago, obviously under now a new manager. But they still got that sort of pedigree about them. They got that experience in Europe. And I do fancy Eintracht Frankfurt here. Tottenham, it's like, they got the quality players. Guti Romero is back. Van de Ven is back. They got all the players returning and Dominic Solanke up front. But you can just see this team is just out of juice right now. The juju is gone. They had the Ange juju at the beginning of last season and it slowly deteriorated to this form of Tottenham Hotspur. The first leg at home, yeah, Tottenham got to win by 2 goals. They're not going to go away to Frankfurt and win. I just do not see it. Eintracht Frankfurt are a very good home side in Europe and in the Bundesliga. Beforehand, when I did my Europa League prediction video, I did have Tottenham making the final, but I can just see the performances are getting worse and worse. And I think with Frankfurt having the second leg at home, Eintracht Frankfurt to the semi-final. The second game is Lazio against Bodø Glimt. Are they going to do it again, Bodø Glimt? Are they going to reach a European semi-final? Let me just repeat those words here. 10 years ago, I didn't even know about Bodø Glimt. Maybe some Norwegian fanatics would obviously know about Bodø Glimt. It's only been like the last 5 to 6 years when Bodø Glimt have risen to champions of Norway, going on a deep runs in the Conference League, destroying Jose Mourinho at home. Like the Bodø Glimt story is one of the best we have seen in football for the past decade. But now they have a glorious chance of reaching a European semi-final. It is miraculous, really. And the players they got, all the players they have sold in the past 5 years. Now you look at the players right now. Kasper Høeg. This striker, he's got like 7 goals in the Europa League this season. Unstoppable. Maybe he's not the greatest like link-up player, but as a poacher of a striker, hey, Kasper Høeg is your guy. And then obviously the leadership in defense by Gundersen, who they picked up from Tromsø last season. And of course, the elite controlling midfielder Berg in the midfield. So Bodø Glimt, we know, at home, dynamite. Unless it's Karabag at home, which I have no clue how Bodø Glimt lost that game. They have beaten every single opponent. That's why they advanced past Olympiacos. They beat them 3-0 at home. Then they survived in Athens. And Bodø Glimt kind of got lucky in that game because they didn't play well. It's just for Lazio. How do you adapt to the cold environment, the artificial turf? If Lazio can just avoid losing by 3 goals, Lazio should be advancing here. But Lazio are not playing the greatest football either at the moment. Baroni's side have only kept 2 clean sheets since 2025. 2 clean sheets, people, and I think that was against Verona and Venezia. So Lazio's defense isn't great. Tavares should be returning. Tati Castellanos should be returning as well. But if you look at the 4-game stretch that Lazio have in between the Bodø games, they first got Atalanta, then Bodø away, then the Derby de Capitale against AS Roma, and then Bodø at home. This is a 4-game stretch that can make or break Lazio's season. And of course, they got good players like Rovella, Isaacson, Boulaya Dia, Tati Castellanos. So I do like the way Baroni has set up Lazio this season, but you can just see defensively they are so naive, and you cannot do that against this Bodø Glimt side, who have only lost 1 game at home in Europe in this entire season. If you're Bodø Glimt and you're a fan of Bodø Glimt, you got to win that first leg 3-0 and then just survive in Rome. And heck, Bodø Glimt have gone away to Rome the last couple of years, obviously mostly AS Roma. They haven't gotten a win, but they've performed very well. And I feel like Bodø Glimt can do this, but they're going to have to win that. If it's a draw in the first leg, yeah, wrap it up, people. Bodø Glimt, I think they only got like one away win in Europe this entire season. That's the make or break for this tie. If Lazio can just avoid an embarrassing defeat in Bodø, Lazio should be advancing. And for me, I have Lazio advancing to the semi-final. I hope and pray that Bodø Glimt could do this because that would just be a sensational story, but it's very difficult. If the second leg was in Bodø, yeah, I would have gone for Bodø Glimt here, but Lazio to the semi-final narrowly. The third matchup, it is Rangers against Athletic Club. If you want an atmosphere game, if you want entertainment, this is the matchup to watch here, people, because Rangers have had a very interesting season. They sacked their manager. They now have Ferguson as the interim manager. I didn't think they were going to beat Fenerbahce, especially with Jose Mourinho as the manager. But when they won 3-1 away in Istanbul, I was like, how on earth did they do that? Like Szczerny, very good midfielder. Diomande, a very good midfielder. And those two, they got to step up big time here. Against Athletic Club and how well Athletic Club play as a team, Szczerny and Diomande are very key. And obviously, Tavernier down the right side with his set-piece delivery, crossing. Not like the greatest defender, I would say, but Tavernier going forward, yeah, he can definitely unlock this Athletic Club team that will leave space. And the problem for Athletic Club is, Sunset, he has to be healthy. If there is no Sunset, that's a worry. And no Vivian. If people don't know about Vivian, he's probably been the best defender in La Liga this season. People will talk about Kubarsi, Inigo Martinez. Dani Vivian is a special defender, but he's out injured. And that's a key miss here. Because Athletic Club, they did well against AS Roma, but they were definitely aided by Matumas getting that early red card. Another thing, if Nico Williams can keep up this form, because Nico has had a very strange season. I don't think he's played the best football, and I watch a lot of Athletic Club people. Look, there's the kid. They're my favorite team in La Liga. I'll be honest. They're my favorite team in La Liga. I just love the club, but Nico Williams, he's such a frustrating player. But the last 3 to 4 weeks, the Nico Williams from the Euros has arrived. Good decision making, getting the goals, just elite in one-on-one situations. And if Nico can keep up that form for Athletic Club alongside Inaki Williams, who we know about, then I think Athletic Club will be advancing here. But I'm not going to disrespect Rangers. Rangers are just a sneaky team. When they advanced to the Europa League final a couple years ago, I was like, okay, they played Dortmund, they played RB Leipzig, they played a lot of good teams. And everybody just rolled them off and said, no, Rangers are not going to do this. What did they do? They made the final and then obviously lost on penalties, sadly, for them. And I feel like Rangers are just one of those sides where it's unpredictable. They're not having a great domestic season, and Rangers are not going to win the Scottish League this season. But maybe they could do something in Europe. We have seen stranger things happen in football, but they're going to have to win that first leg in Glasgow if you're Rangers. Because going away through the San Mamés, yeah, the San Mamés is a cathedral. The music is playing. Everybody's just yelling the anthem for Athletic Club. It's a very intimidating atmosphere, kind of like Fenerbahce away. But there's something special about San Mamés. I don't know what it is. And with Athletic Club hosting the final, it almost feels like it's destiny for them to advance to the final and play in their home stadium. And I think they're playing good football. They've kind of been hot and cold recently in La Liga. They're not scoring a lot of goals. They're not conceding a lot of goals. I'm always worried about Unai Simon. I think the guy is a huge liability. I got Athletic Club advancing to the semifinal. I think this is going to be entertaining. I could see this being like a 5-4 aggregate scoreline. I think we're going to get absolute cinema in these two games. And the final matchup then is Lyon against Manchester United. Two teams that dominated their respective domestic leagues in the 2000s. But since then, both teams have gone through a bit of a banter era. Maybe you could say, who has actually had a bigger banter era? Manchester United or Lyon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let's talk about Lyon first. Very entertaining team. Defensively, the less said, the better, because there's no defensive plan with this team. All of this team's quality is in the attack. Okay, you can talk about Matic and Tolisso in the midfield, or Tessman sometimes coming into the midfield, but you're talking about Cherki, Nuama, Thiago Almada, Mika Dautse. I call them the Fab Four for Lyon, because this is the entire Lyon team. You watch them every single game, it's just, you attack, they attack. You attack, they attack. They don't care. Like Fonseca doesn't have any tactics. If I'm going to be honest, he's done actually pretty well since his sacking at Milan, and I don't really think he's the best of managers, but he's done well with this Lyon team. For Lyon, it's about getting the result at home and see what you can do away in Old Trafford. But compared to Sociedad, where Sociedad were just so naive going forward and Manchester United completely dominated them, Lyon have players that can hurt Manchester United. Mika Dautze, Lacazette off the bench, Thiago Almada, who scored a great goal against Uruguay, very good player. Ernest Nuama with his pace, dribbling, very direct player. I was hoping Fofana would be fit, but he looks like he's injured. And then obviously Cherki, and everybody knows about Cherki. So Lyon, do they have a chance here? Of course. They are a good team. If they could just minimize Manchester United to 1 or 2 goals, yeah, Lyon can advance here. Because Man United, I thought they played really good against Real Sociedad, even though I had Sociedad advancing. Because Man United are just, they're another team you can't trust. Play sometimes good football, not consistent enough, and then they make individual dumb mistakes. Every single game, it seems like, for Man United. If Man United played the same way they did against Real Sociedad, I think Man United got a chance here. Second leg at Old Trafford, it's doable for Man United. It's very much doable. The key for them is they got to finish their chances. And Bruno's got to step up again. Garnacho, he gets heavily criticized. I'm not his biggest fan whatsoever. I don't care if he's 20 years old. I just don't see him being like an elite forward for Man United in the future. But he's got to be less selfish. Make the correct decision. Dorgo with his pace could definitely trouble Lyon. Then it comes down to Xerxes or Højlund. One of those two has got to step up for this Manchester United team. Or is it just going to be Bruno who's going to drag them through the mud? This is everything though for Man United. This is their season right here. They have to win the Europa League to get any European football next season. And especially Champions League football, which could help them drastically financially, maybe player recruitment in the summer. So I think for Amorim and the club, it's vital that they win this Europa League, even though I don't think that Man United will win the Europa League. This is a tough one because I do have more faith in Lyon, but the second leg at Old Trafford, I feel like Man United are going to do this. I don't know why. I just have that funny feeling where they're going to maybe lose away in Lyon 2-1. If Man United can just avoid like a 3-0 loss, a 2-0 loss, I think Man United can overturn the tie, and then we could probably see another Bruno masterclass in Manchester. So yeah, I think Man United are actually going to advance to the semifinal, even though you'll see how they play. They're not the greatest of teams. Every Man United fan can agree with me. They're not the greatest of teams. Or will this be a step too far? Who knows? Lyon, they're probably going to have to win this tie like 5-3, 5-4, like a high-scoring affair, where I think Manchester United can be better defensively than Lyon. But Manchester United will advance to the semi-final and take on Athletic Club. So there we have it, people. The predictions for the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We'll obviously be doing a review after the quarterfinals as well, after the first leg and the second leg, and then we'll be talking about the semi-final and the final. So if you like Europa League content, this is the channel to be. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new under, and remember to follow me on all the socials. You can find those links in the description down below. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time. Adios.